Welcome to freshmind.com. My name is Eric and I'm going to show you how to produce a wireframe rendering. If I render this out right now, it's using the Maya software. We get the black background, not very presentable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my render settings and I'm going to change it from Maya software to Mental Ray. I'm going to go to the quality tab, and as soon as this loads, I'm going to change the quality presets from draft to production so we get a nice good looking render. I'm going to go to my Features tab, and I'm going to scroll all the way down the bottom to where it says Contours. Contours is basically another name for wireframe. I'm going to expand that. I'm going to turn it on where it says Enable Contour Rendering. And then the next section where it says Draw by Property Difference, I'm going to expand that and tell Maya where I want my wireframe to be. And I want my wireframe to be around all my polygon faces, so I'm going to click on this second box that says Around All Poly Faces. I'm going to close that out. It renders on a black background. I'm just going to change that. So I'm going to go up to my View Panels menu bar underneath View, go down to Camera Attribute Editor, and I click on that. It opens up the attributes for our camera that we're looking through, or our perspective views camera rather. I'm going to scroll down to where it says Environment. I'm going to expand that, and right there is the background color when it renders out. So I'm going to change it from black. A lot of times I use white, but for this tutorial I'll just use kind of a light grayish color. And now let's add a material to our object. I'm going to go up to Windows, Rendering Editors, Hypershade. Over here in the left-hand column, I'm going to click on Blend. We'll just create a blend material. You can use any material, Lambert, Phong, whatever look you want. I'm going to middle mouse drag it from my work area right here. I'm going to middle mouse drag it over to our object. That adds it to our object. So our object now, you can see the shine, so we know our blend material is added on there. Alright, if you don't see the attributes for your material, you can just double click on the material down here in the work area or up here in this upper section. Just double click on it and it will open up the attributes. Alright, in the attributes at the very top, I'm going to rename it. It doesn't matter what you name it. I'm going to rename mine MAT for material underscore wireframe. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and make my blend material kind of a dark color, so I'm just going to make it darker. That way I'm going to use a white wireframe, so I'm making my material darker so you'll see the wireframe a little bit easier. But again, you can change all that stuff. Alright, up there where we changed the name at, to the right of that, you'll see two little boxes. Each box has a picture of a square and a triangle, black triangle on her. I'm going to click on the bottom button. You'll see a tab that has SG at the end of it. I'm going to maximize where it says Mental Ray. I'm just going to expand that out, and then you should see contours, and then we're just going to turn that on. So we turned on contour rendering in our render settings, and now we're turning it on in our material settings. So we turn that on, and you'll see color, alpha. Color is what color you want your wireframe. Mine's white. So if you want a different color, you can just click on that color swatch, and now you can change and pick whatever color wireframe you want. I'm just going to leave mine white. The next one, alpha, that's just how visible you want your wireframe. 1 is 100% visible, 0 is 0% visible, and you can figure out in between. And then down here where it says width, that's just how wide or how thick you want your wireframe lines to be. I like mine around 0.5 or lower. I'll just do 0.35. And let's do a render, see what we got. So there we have, very easy to do. We have a wireframe render. Now our wireframe is looking a little not very high quality, so we can easily change that. Let's go ahead and save this, or keep that image. I'm going to open my render settings back up. I'm going to go back to my Features tab. All the way down to the bottom where our contour section is. You'll see where it says Oversamples. The higher that number is, the better quality your wireframe will look. I'm going to bump mine up to 3. And then these filters right here, there's a your box filter, triangle, Gaussian. I'll just leave mine on box. And another filter right here called filter support. These filters basically determine how blurry your lines are. It's kind of like the anti-aliasing. So this filter support, I might bump it up to 1.5. So let's close that out and let's do another render. And it should look a lot better. So there we go. We have a nice clean wireframe render. So very simple to do. I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it a little bit easier. So I go to my render settings, on my common tab, and I'm going to change the image size preset from 640. I'll just go all the way up to 1024 so you can see it a little better in this tutorial. And there we go. That's it. Not much to it. So we could even smooth this out. So mesh, smooth. Let's do another render so we have more polygon faces to render around. And that's it. So have fun, play around with it. Let me go over those one more time with you. First thing you want to do is open up your render settings, change the mental rate so you can get a nice quality render. Go to the quality tab, put it on a nice quality render, which is production is really nice. Then go to your features tab, scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says contours, expand that and just turn it on. And then the next section where it says draw by property difference, expand that and tell Maya where you want your wireframe to be drawn. I'll change mine this time to silhouette, and I'll turn off polyfaces this time. And then as far as the quality of your wireframe, right here where you've got your oversample and your filters, you can play around with those until you get the look you want. Alright, close that out. I'm going to go back into the material settings. So Hypershade. Here's my wireframe material that I created. I'm just going to double click it, open up the attributes. Over here in the attributes where the name is, I'm going to go to the right to those two little boxes. I'm going to click on this bottom box, and now we'll see a tab that has SG at the end of it. We're going to make sure our mental ray section is expanded, and then we're going to go down where contours is, make sure it's turned on, and then just adjust it how you want. Now this time I turned off polygon faces, so when we do a render, it's only going to put our wireframe around the silhouette of our object. That's what I told it to do, the silhouette. And let's change the color so we can see the silhouette a little better. Maybe kind of like a blue. So accept. And the width, let's make it a really thick, bold outline. So our wireframe, instead of 0.35 being like a fine lines, let's make it 1.5. Maybe even 2. I'll do 2. Why not? Really thick. And let's do a render. So there you go. We have our outline. So let's keep that. I'm going to go back into my render settings just to kind of show you the fun you can have. And this time I'm up here in the contour section, there's a hide source. So if we click that, close, re-render, I think it'll probably do a black background, but it will hide the source. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, the only thing we can see now is just the outline of our object. So it hides the source. So a lot of cool settings that you can play with until you get the kind of render you're looking for. So thanks for watching and have fun.